So the other week, I released my first video in nearly 2 years, and it was a lot of fun to make. But it was also a huge fucking struggle, which unfortunately is not unusual for me. See, I've always had a very tortured relationship with creativity. I feel like there are creatives out there who just prance around and play and magic just effortlessly comes out. Not me. For most of my life, trying to create something felt like endlessly banging my head against a wall until I came up with something I didn't entirely hate. Good Lord. It wasn't always like that though. When I was a kid, creating was effortless. It was play. It just happened. I got into filmmaking pretty early on. My dad had a Sony Handycam, and I loved movies, especially Star Wars. So it shouldn't be surprising that the first movie I ever made was a paper airplane parody of Star Wars, aptly named Paper Wars. And making that was just pure joy. So much fun figuring out the language of film, how you can cut from one shot to another and it would mean something. I mean, that felt like pure magic. But then something funny happened. I kept making little videos throughout middle school and high school, and slowly I realized I was getting pretty good at it, that I had a talent for it. And that was the beginning of the end for me. From that moment on, I started creating for different reasons, not for fun and joy, but for future success, to get love and fame, to make great art. And that was when everything, creatively, went to fucking shit. I headed off to college, set on becoming a feature film director, and every video project I tackled was filled with nothing but stress and pressure. I constantly felt like I had to make amazing fucking videos or my worth as a person would be completely shit. And with that kind of stress, not only did I not enjoy creating, but I also constantly felt like a failure, hating everything I created. Nothing was good enough, feeling like a fraud, like I'd never amount to anything. Fun, right? So you can imagine, it didn't take long before I finally gave up and threw in the towel. No more dreams of being a director, no more making personal videos or films. It was literally killing me. I couldn't do it anymore.
Ironically, the one video that I actually had a ton of fun with was something I just slapped together over a weekend for a Korean language class. And it was a Korean soap opera where I was the cross-dressing star who everyone was fighting over. And not only was it so much fun, it actually went semi-viral and got way more attention than any of my more serious projects. Which, I don't know, was that like a sign from life saying, stop taking yourself so damn seriously and just have fun?
Anyways, throughout the rest of my 20s, I tried experimenting with different creative mediums, hoping things would get better. Played around with music, DJing, writing. But no matter the medium, I kept hitting the same walls over and over again. I felt like I was creatively broken. Like there was just something fundamentally wrong with me and I'd never figure it out. But over the past few years, things have finally begun to shift. It wasn't so much about finding the right medium or the right techniques, but more an entire mindset change towards how I approach creativity in the first place. Basically, I stopped creating to get success or approval or to make great work. I went back to the way I approached it when I was much wiser. Creating just for the fun of it, the joy of it, because it felt good to do so in this present moment, not for anything it might get me in the future. And yeah, easier said than done. It took a lot of trial and error and experimentation to figure this out, and I'm still figuring it out. But over the past 2 years, I stuck with writing, and I began to write more and more, and was actually enjoying it. For the first time in decades, it wasn't killing me, it wasn't crushing me with its pressure. It was actually kind of fun. And on top of that, even though it wasn't my goal, my writing was getting better too, and I was reaching more people with it. Who would have thought? Now, that's been my journey with writing, and I love writing, I always will, but something in me was still feeling the call towards video, even after nearly a decade of hiatus. So, 2 years ago, I dusted off my camera and made my first video blog. Vlog? Ugh, I hate that word. It was about my thoughts on therapy, and making it was so much fun. It felt like the perfect combination of all my creative skills: writing, filmmaking, music, performing, and on a topic that I deeply cared about. But it was also a huge fucking pain in the ass. Turns out all the progress I made with writing did not automatically carry over to filmmaking. All my old creative demons came up. I felt stressed, overwhelmed. My perfectionism was out of control. I spent hours reading each line over and over and over again. While I did feel some magic in making that video, a lot of it was overshadowed by stress and frustration. So I put down the camera and ran away from video again, this time for nearly 2 years. But that itch never went away, and eventually I had to give it another try. Earlier this year, I ended up telling a story at a storytelling event about the time I got mugged in Colombia. Perfect. I didn't even need to write anything. All I had to do was retell the story on camera, edit the sucker, then an easy finished video, right? Wrong. I ran against all the same roadblocks as I did last time. Filming it was such a pain that once I wrapped, I didn't even touch the footage again for 4 months. But at the same time, the magic was there, even if it was frequently overshadowed by frustration. I knew deep down that this was a direction I needed to explore. So, 2 weeks ago, I finally finished the Colombia video, put it out there, and now I'm ready to make more. For the next few months, I want to shift my focus from writing to vlogging to making videos, but I want to do things differently this time. Otherwise, it might be another 2 years before I make another one of these. So that's why I decided to give myself a creative challenge, to create a video every other week. Now, I've done a few creative challenges in the past, like creating a song every day for my 28-day song challenge. You tell me I should. Or making a Vine every day for my 7-day Vine challenge.
It's burning, turn it down.
Turn it down for what?
And these challenges were a fun way to force me to start creating a lot. But they were also exhausting and ultimately unsustainable. This time around, I want to bring in just enough pressure to kick my ass into gear, but not enough to overwhelm me. So, here are my intentions for my every other week video challenge. Yeah, that title could use some work. 1. Create a video every 2 weeks. At first, I wanted to do 1 video every week because weekly video challenge rolls off the tongue way better. And I thought the short time frame would force me to give up my perfectionism and give me a ton of practice. But in making this video, I realized that was way too ambitious for me. I still want to live my life, hang out with friends, my communities, go dancing, work on my health, all that good stuff. So yeah, every other week felt way more manageable for now. 2. Announce my intention publicly, like I'm doing right now, just for a little added pressure so that I really make this a priority. You know, once you put something out there, you feel more beholden to it. Like, I'll feel kind of stupid if I announce this and then don't follow up. So, here we are. 3. Focus on exploration over external goals. I want to be clear, I'm not doing this video challenge to make the most amazing videos ever, or to gain followers or become successful. Having these kinds of external goals are what fucked up my creative journey in the first place. No, this challenge isn't about accomplishing anything, it's about exploration. Making these videos will be a chance for me to explore my relationship with creativity and filmmaking in real time, to get to know it intimately. What blocks come up? What brings me joy? What stresses me out? What wants to come out? How does this body-mind like to work? So, no goals, but doing all this with the soft intention of healing my relationship with creativity itself. And ironically, I bet the more I do that, the more my work will get better and will have more of a reach. But again, not my goal here. 4. Dismantle my perfectionism. A big part of why I'm doing a creative challenge rather than just making videos willy-nilly is to try and curb my fucking perfectionism. Now, don't get it twisted. I know in our culture we complain about our perfectionism, but secretly we think it's what makes us great. No, fuck that. To me, perfectionism is a creative evil. It's what made my last 2 videos so damn stressful to make and kept me from creating anything in the first place. By forcing myself to make a video every 2 weeks, I'm hoping I won't have time to be a perfectionist. I'll be forced to just make something, get it out, and move on to the next thing instead of spending months tweaking it and stressing and on and on and on. So, the pressure is off. I can just create, experiment, try different things, play, instead of being a perfectionist. 5. Permission to change course. And finally, while I'm issuing this challenge to myself, I don't want to be overly beholden to it. If my health issues are acting up, I'm not going to kill myself to try and stick to the schedule. If my body needs some more time, then that's my first priority. And if my gut is pulling me in another direction, like wanting to change the parameters or try something entirely different, then I give myself permission to trust that over some arbitrary mind-made rules I made in the past. Gut over mind, always. Alright, this video has gone on way too long, but if you're watching it, then that means one thing. I've successfully gotten this challenge started. Hell yeah! Alright, now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do next week. Wish me luck.